current news podcast.
With Elu and Jesse.
Yes.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we are diving into, you guessed it, immigration.
Always a hot topic.
You can say that again. And we've got a piece from the Daily Beast here. Kamala Harris shoves the migrant border crisis in Trump's face.
Yeah.
Buckle up, because they definitely came out swinging with this one.
Yeah, it's not exactly subtle.
Not even a little bit. But look, we're not here for the headlines, right? We're here to really break down what this tells us about the 2024 election, how campaigns are using immigration to try and win over voters.
It's a fascinating look at the strategy behind the scenes, beyond the sound bites.
Exactly. So first things first, Harris goes down to the U.S. Mexico border. Not just for a photo op either. This article makes it clear. This is about challenging Trump on, his entire approach to this whole issue.
It's a bold move, going right to the front lines. She's trying to take control of the narrative, both literally and symbolically.
And she doesn't stop there. Instead of getting bogged down in, the back and forth, the latest claims, the article says she's really hitting Trump's record hard.
Particularly on that bipartisan immigration reform bill he blocked last spring.
Right. That seems to be a big deal for her. Do you think that's going to resonate with voters, though? Or is that getting too deep in the weeds for the average person?
That's a tough one. It could really go either way. You're right, some voters might not even remember that bill, but for those who really follow this issue closely.
It might make them see her as more than just talk.
Precisely. And even for those who don't remember the specifics, it plays into this idea of, we could have had a solution, it was right there, but he stood in the way. There's a powerful message there, if she can get it across.
Especially when you compare it to some of the, the more out there stuff we're hearing from the other side.
I see what you're saying.
The article mentions some, let's just say, questionable claims from Trump and his running mate about Haitian migrants. And just to be clear, we're not here to say who's right or wrong.
Of course, we're just looking at the tactics being used.
Right, but how do you think that kind of rhetoric plays against, this more measured approach we're seeing from Harris?
It's a clash of styles, for sure. Harris is trying to steer the conversation back towards policy, solutions. While those claims, whether they're true or not, they tap into something a lot more emotional. Fear, anger, even resentment. It's powerful stuff.
So it comes down to what voters care about more, facts or feelings.
It often does, unfortunately.
And speaking of facts, let's talk about these solutions she's proposing. The article mentions she wants to reintroduce that blocked bill. What was actually in that bill, and how big of a deal would it have been if it had passed?
Well, it was pretty comprehensive, actually. It would have created a pathway to citizenship for some undocumented immigrants, the ones who were already here. But it also included tougher border security measures. And importantly, it would have addressed the root causes of migration from Central America. Whether it would have worked or not, that's a whole other question.
A question we can't answer.
Right. But it was seen as a genuine attempt at compromise. And that's something you don't see too much of these days.
It's interesting, though, that she's bringing it back now, using it as part of her campaign.
It shows she's serious about actually getting something done, or at least that's the message she's trying to send.
And it's not just about the bill. The article also mentions she's focusing on combating fentanyl smuggling. How does that fit into all of this, and why do you think she's highlighting that specifically?
It's smart, strategically speaking. It lets her address a very real concern a lot of Americans have right now. Fentanyl, the opioid crisis. By connecting it to immigration, to border security, it makes her approach seem tougher, more comprehensive.
It's not just about being compassionate. It's about keeping people safe.
Exactly. It's about appealing to a broader range of voters.
So, to bring it all back around, Harris going on the offensive, making this very deliberate trip to the border, really going after Trump's record on this. Based on what we're seeing, where do you see immigration fitting into the bigger picture of the 2024 election?
It's going to be front and center. It's already such a divisive issue. The real question is, what are voters going to respond to? The detailed policy proposals, the calls for bipartisanship, or the more emotionally driven arguments, the promises of quick and easy solutions. That's what both campaigns are trying to figure out.
And what we're all waiting to see. Well, on that note, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thank you all for listening.
Turn the dial to the daily news. Turn the dial to the daily news. Turn the dial to the daily news. Bringing voices, headlines, and choose. We turn the dial to the daily news.